My name is Luis Almeida. I'm the teacher, student, mentor, coach, and student of the ideas of Spinoza and Gurdjieff. The topic today is Jordan Peterson. I find him very interesting, and he has a tremendous audience. I think mostly young college students. He's from Canada. He has quite a background. He is a clinical psychologist, a professor of psychology at the University of Toronto. He wrote a book that's, I think, very popular. It's called The 12 Rules of Life. Listening to Dr. Peterson, I found that he has some very good ideas, practical ideas that we all can, live by. What are these rules? How to live life, maybe how to live life more productively, be responsible, but this is an example. Tell the truth. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Do not do things that you hate. Well, that seems logical. Why would you want to do something you hate? Pursue what is meaningful. Well, what does that mean? What is really meaningful? For one person, it might mean something very meaningful, and another might be hurtful. But that depends on the individual, what is meaningful. Pay attention. Brilliant idea. How to pay attention to another. Listen to what they have to say. How can we do that? Because most of us are trying to talk over the other individual. They can't wait to express their ideas. But paying attention is truly a powerful gift if you can do that. Another idea is assume the person that you're speaking to may have something you need to know. That's brilliant also. Most of the time we have such an ego pride of who we are and what we know, it's hard to listen to another, much less see what they know that we don't know. So why am I talking about Dr. Peterson? Well, I think there's more to life than the 12 rules of life. What are they? Well, if you listen to Gurdjieff talks about the ideas. Well, first of all, you don't know who Gurdjieff is. Well, I'll give you a little background. A book that I follow is called In Search of the Miraculous by Ouspensky. And you can find it on my website. I don't get anything for it, just it's easy to access. Go to Amazon.com and just click on the link. You just go to the resources and you go to my website, which is wayofspinoza.com, and you will see it below. Now, what did Gurdjieff talk about? Gurdjieff talked about the idea that man is asleep and that it's possible for man to awake. So if man is asleep, how can he listen? If man is asleep, how can he really follow what is best, what is meaningful? And what is a sleep state? Well, that's a good question. A sleep state is when the mind is literally asleep. It's passive. I'm not talking about being asleep in bed, but being a functioning human being. You go into the job, you go to a restaurant, you see your friends, you go to school, you do this and do that. It's so automatically. It's all automatic, without thinking. You don't have to think about walking, you walk automatically. You don't talk thinking about what you have to say, you just talk. Some of us talk too much, and some of us talk too little. Everything is automatic. It's all stored memory. So to awake is to awake what? There's another part of us is called the intelligence. I call it the intuitive, clear intelligence. I'll make it simple. Intuitive intelligence. What is this? It's the mind that thinks. What do you mean thinks? Thinks clearly. Thinks adequately. Most of the time we think with lenses. The lenses of the mind could be all fogged up. They could be smeared, dirty. And what are these lenses of the mind? Well, these lenses are developed very early in life from the environment we grew up. Our teachers were our mothers, our fathers, or helpers, our nannies, or it could be our siblings. And then as we grow, our schools become our teachers. Television and the internet become our teachers. So what do they teach? How to be, how to act, how to have fun. And yet, some of this information is erroneous. They give us partial information. We absorb information without thinking. We don't question what our thoughts are. Now, there's another individual I study. His name is called Spinoza, 17th century philosopher. He wrote a book called The Ethics. You can also find it on my website. The ethics is just that, ethical conduct. How to have real meaning to life. How to pursue what is happiness and how to pursue happiness. And best of all, how to awaken our true intelligence. What is the true intelligence again? It's the active thinking mind. There are 5 parts to this ethics. The first part is called God. Number 2 is called the mind, how the mind works and what is the mind. 3 is on the emotions, how to understand our emotions. What are the emotions? Emotions such as pain, pleasure, hate, anger, envy, ambition, competition, and so on. Pride is another one. To know our emotions is to know oneself. Socrates talked about the idea of to know oneself. I think Jordan is talking about how to conduct your life and how to live a more productive life, more responsible life. That's definitely good. But there's more to life than just being an active part of society. Being productive in society, there's more to life than that. What is available? To find meaning to life. To have your life have a purpose. What is that purpose? First of all, we must learn to know oneself. We must become inwardly selfish. There's a saying, you should love your neighbor before yourself. That's nonsense. How can you do that? Most of us are suffering. What are we suffering from? Confusion. We don't even know how to love, much less love ourselves. How does one love oneself? That's a good question. Spinoza has a key. Prior to the 5 parts of the ethics, is called the improvement of our understanding. We must learn how to understand, improve our understanding. How does one do that? We must acknowledge our intelligence. Back to Gurdjieff. Gurdjieff talks about the idea of a group. What is a group? There is a teacher or a leader of a group, someone who knows. Dr. Jordan, he has a certain authority. He has a background, clinical psychology. He's a psychologist. He's a professor. So he has some knowledge. But he has psychological knowledge. This is not enough. It's practical knowledge, how to get along in life, how to get along with people, how to be productive and responsible. That's good. But there's no more. We are truly a spiritual beings if our mind is awakened. Our mind can only be awakened in a group environment. How to awaken our mind? We must begin to learn how to see oneself without judgment. How to begin to see how we are being, our thoughts, our emotions. So every day you will see how you are affected by other individuals. Your roommate, your professor, your mother, your father, your siblings, your friends. They might say something that you don't like, and you feel, what do you feel? You feel pleasure or pain? You feel pain. What is that pain? A pain of, well, I don't know what to do. But however, prior to pain, there is desire. And what is desire? Interesting thing is, Spinoza talks about desire is the essence of man. What does that mean? It means that everything that we as human beings live by is desire. Desire to preserve our nature. The law of self-preservation. We follow the law of self-preservation. So everything we desire is to help us exist and persist. One of the realities that Spinoza talks about, the law of necessity. There's no such thing as free will. There's only the law of necessity. And this is where Dr. Jordan, misses an important reality. He sees, and we all see, that we have free will. We believe we have free will. We see life through the lenses of confusions. We must learn how to clean our lenses to learn how to see. What is there if there's no free will? It's called, it is what it is. You've heard that saying, it is what it is, but what is it? So an individual says, I'll meet you for lunch, and he forgets to show up. He does this, a friend of yours, and when he says, I'll meet you for lunch at, say, 1 o'clock, at so-and-so, and you go there and you're waiting 15 minutes and he never shows up. Or he might be 15 minutes late and he's always late. So you have a desire. I desire to meet my friend Joe. I like Joe. He's a fun guy to be with. And I want to know what's up, and I haven't seen him for a few weeks. But Joe doesn't show up, or he's late. I feel what? I feel pain. My desire is not met. Whenever our desire is not met, we'll feel pain. That's a law. So what do you do with this pain? Pain is a feeling of impotence and powerlessness. That's what pain is. It's less power. Say, for instance, if Joe came and said, hello, and say your name is Ralph. Hello, Ralph. Good to see you. Why you look good? What have you been doing, working out? And you feel what? You feel pleasure or pain? You feel pleasure, of course. And now you believe Joe is the cause. And now you love Joe. And what is the definition of the emotion love? Love is pleasure accompanied by the idea of an external cause. Again, love is pleasure accompanied by the idea of an external cause. And what is hate? The definition of hate is pain accompanied by the idea of an external cause. Again, hate is pain accompanied by the idea of an external cause. Now, if Joe doesn't show up, you're going to feel pain. And now you feel hate. Interesting thing is, most people say, I don't want to feel hate. But the fact is, you don't have no choice. You don't have no choice feeling pain. It's automatic. We have no free will, believe it or not. So, we know a little bit about Spinoza, we know a little bit about Gurdjieff. But to really understand, you must be involved in a group. Just to listen to Dr. Jordan Peterson is not enough. It might stimulate you, it might excite you, you might have fun, something to talk about. You might take in a few of his things, but it doesn't really change your core beliefs and attitudes. Why do you feel inferior at times? Why do you feel superior? Why do you feel inadequate? Why are you fearful? Some of us are afraid to, say, ask questions or confront others. Some of us wish we weren't so confrontational. I'm going to let you go. That's it for now. Hope you can listen to it again. And subscribe below, and check out my website. Talk to you soon.